A blockbuster deal for Airbus. The aerospace giant has inked a multi-billion-dollar sale. It's building new jets for AirAsia. The Prime Minister says the momentum for Quebec and the country is huge.
Ça, c'est le moment pour l'audace. It's the moment to be bold, to build big, to have confidence, move forward, open up. That's what we're doing, and we'll continue to get that investment despite the efforts of the Americans.
We have team coverage on the story for you. In Ottawa, Karina Roman has more on the announcement and what it could mean for Canada's economy. And Natalia Weichsel is at the Airbus facility in Mirabel, Quebec. She has details on how this could impact the thousands of Airbus workers there. We start with Karina. So Karina Roman in Ottawa, take us through the announcement.
Yes, so Airbus announced its biggest order ever for its Canadian-made A220 airliner. It's actually the biggest ever order of a Canadian-designed and produced aircraft in Canada. It's a multi-billion-dollar sale to AirAsia, which is a Malaysian-based budget carrier. Now, Airbus acquired the A220 from Bombardier. It was actually part of their C series, and Airbus took it over in 2018, which helped Bombardier avoid collapse. Now, the Quebec government also invested in this A220 program, but today's announcement does not include federal funding. That said, Airbus executive says everyone wins. Have a listen.
Today is a win-win-win-win day. A win, obviously, for Asia. Tony, you're getting the plane, a very nice plane, as soon as possible. A win as well for Canada and Quebec. It's a massive step towards your competencies and capabilities in this region. It's a win for all of us, for you, the colleagues here in Mirabel, as this is a secured employment for the years to come. And it's also a win for Airbus, that it brings us closer to our growth trajectory, and we might even do more with that fantastic platform.
Now, when you mentioned Tony, that's Tony Fernandez. He is the head of AirAsia, and he said in his speech that he expects the first round of planes to come to AirAsia at the beginning of 2028, or by the end of the first quarter of 2028. Now, that might be a tall order, or it might mean that AirAsia jumps the queue because there is a backlog of orders for this plane from other customers. And you spoke with an expert last hour, Andrew, who said that there are long-standing problems with supply chains that could delay things, and that to fix those problems, they need probably federal money.
Probably more money. And that could come from the provincial federal governments, maybe, I think is what he was suggesting. How is the government framing this announcement?
Well, even without federal dollars at this point, the federal government touting it as a success of the government's push to diversify markets, success in terms of Canada courting Asian markets and other markets. The Prime Minister talked about the deals he signed around the world, the connections he's made for Canada, and how that's all instrumental in getting to announcements like this today. He mentioned in his remarks when he last saw Tony Fernandez, which was in Kuala Lumpur in October at the ASEAN summit. And then he went on to say this. Have a listen.
We shared a vision of deepening ties between those countries that in this crisis that we're still living through are choosing to build in the face of adversity. Countries that have the confidence to open up, to link their economies, to invest in their workers, to move forward, not turn back. So Tony, thank you. Thank you for the trust you're placing in Canadian workers, in Quebec, in Mirabel. You're choosing the best at exactly the right time.
Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney also said this announcement is an example of the direct foreign investment role that Canada is on, that Canada is leading the G7 in terms of foreign direct investment if you adjust for population. He says it's an example of the confidence of Canada, as you heard him earlier say, despite the efforts of the Americans. And it is good news on a day when we're also getting bad industry news that Honda is further suspending its electric vehicle plant in Ontario. But in Mirabel today, it was all smiles, it was hugs, it was applause, because this is obviously good news for Quebec and for Canada and for jobs. And right now, Canada will take the good news when it can get it.
And, you know, Karina, I thought it was interesting that he there was that little dig, sort of despite the efforts or the adversity from the Americans. I mean, this is a European-based company. This is an order from an Asian-based airline, all built in Quebec. So this kind of fits into, the Prime Minister, I think, would say this, into diversifying away from the U.S. in the face of a trade war that continues to kind of just hound the country, right?
Yeah, it certainly checks a lot of those boxes that he's been talking about.
Karina, thank you. CBC's Karina Roman, live in Ottawa. Quebec Premier Christine Fréchette was right alongside the Prime Minister for today's big announcement. The CBC's Natalia Weichsel is at the Airbus facility, and she joins us live from Mirabel. Natalia, what does this announcement mean for Quebec and for workers in that region where you are?
Well, this is a significant announcement for Quebec because Airbus has a very big presence in the province, and the A220 aircraft also has a special connection to Mirabel. The aircraft is assembled in a giant facility here in Mirabel, Quebec, which is just about an hour north of Montreal. And in the past, both the provincial government and the company have invested large sums of money to strengthen this manufacturing and assembly facility here. They've invested jointly around $1.6 billion to be exact. And this Airbus facility, this manufacturing facility here, already employs a lot of people in the region. Around 5,000 people are employed alone in the Mirabel facility here. So this announcement here today will continue generating jobs and maintaining those jobs for people in the region for years to come. Here is what Quebec Premier Christine Fréchette had to say about this.
For several years now, our government has made a clear choice to invest here in Quebec to build a strong, forward-looking aerospace industry. The AirAsia order is a resounding validation of Quebec's vision for Mirabel and for the aerospace sector.
And Natalia, there are concerns, though, the order from AirAsia might not be profitable if Airbus is unable to deliver the aircraft in time, right?
That's right. As Karina mentioned, this is the largest order for a Canadian designed and produced aircraft in history. And although it is very significant, very historic, it does place a large amount of pressure on Airbus to be able to deliver on its promises. Now, already prior to the AirAsia contract, there were concerns about profitability. And the European aircraft manufacturer has given themselves a goal of producing 14 aircraft per month in 2026. But that number has been slowly falling down to 13, down to 12. So experts are saying, though, that concern and that delay is due to supply chain demands, due to bottlenecks that are being created by suppliers themselves. Have a listen in.
And so as we grow the business, as we grow our reputation, as we get more and more of the world wanting our airplanes, we have to make sure that we've got an infrastructure and a supply chain that meets that demand. And that demand requires faster, more, and more and effective. And that's what Airbus has, that experience. They've been building airplanes for years. So they know what the marketplace needs. They know what the production process needs. And we have to make sure that our suppliers in that supply chain are able to deliver to Airbus's expectations.
Andrew, the A220 aircraft is a narrow-body plane, and it's the most modern airliner in its size category, and it can carry up to 160 passengers.
Natalia, thank you. That is the CBC's Natalia Weichsel in Mirabel, Quebec.